Welcome to Mediocre Main Character. I'm playing Matches Matrimony, a Pride and Prejudice tale. We've already played this game once, and we got the Bingley ending because that's the one I wanted. Don't judge me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play the game through off screen and record from chapter 11, where we meet Mr. Wentworth, Captain Wentworth. In the meantime, if you're wondering, I'll be building up my willpower to stave off Mr. Collins and my propriety and kindness because that's all Captain Wentworth cares about. So, the first thing you'll notice in the Captain Wentworth edition is the fact that we don't actually have that many suitors. Like, we didn't even bother to meet Wigby. And everybody else is kind of neutral towards us because we never really engaged with them. And that's how he likes us. Chapter 11. Okay, let's just do needlework all week long. Go. Embroidering pillows, embroidering a picture frame, knitting a new card basket. Boy, the fun never stops. Weekend. Our day's journey began by traveling to Delaford, Colonel Brandon's estate, where the party was to assemble in the early morning before leaving together for Whitwell, just before lunch. There we go. Moment of truth. I'm sure he's here somewhere. A certain someone I had hoped to introduce you to. My surprise, I'm sure you remember. But at the moment, he's hidden himself away. Yes, bring him to me. Captain Wentworth. It was a name that I knew well, and a man that I had once known intimately. Long before the captain was a captain, he was Mr. Wentworth, and on occasion, Frederick to me. So we met 5 years ago, and we became close. Unfortunately, after a summer of deep love, Mr. Wentworth asked us to marry him, but our mother refused. Our mother said he wasn't rich enough, he didn't have a name for himself, so he wouldn't make for a good prospect. And because we were young and impressionable, we listened to her. I was led to believe my own feelings for him were wrong, even hurtful towards Frederick's own prospects, and so I broke off the connection. But points to Frederick because he fought for our love and he tried to convince us to stay with him. It didn't work out. We dumped him. And he left the country, leaving us to consider and reconsider if we made the right choice. But we haven't seen him in all that time. So, what does he think of us now? Though I was quite certain Captain Wentworth did see me as I saw him, he made no effort to come towards me at all. I thought I did everything right. I certainly could not forget our last encounter, and it was likely to also be burned into his memory, though for not reasons that were pleasant. I should not expect any man whose love had been so wholly spurned to return to the one who had spurned him. Oh, maybe there's hope yet. I soon happily remembered that as no one in attendance could have known we had a previous connection, he might have chosen not to come to me to avoid looking impertinent. I was only too happy when Lady Lucas soon thereafter came to introduce Captain Wentworth to Lady Anne and me. Oh, God, made it through the first hurdle. Miss Mediocre Bennet and Miss Lady Anne Bennet, may I present to you Captain Wentworth? Yeah, Lady Anne, you guys are the complete polar opposites. How do? So here's a fine man for you girls. Miss Mediocre, did I not especially promise you a surprise? Well, here he is, recently returned from making a fortune at sea, and now looking for a handsome woman to join him on his naval voyages. And who could blame him for looking here? Oh, interesting. Oh no, you mistake me, madam. For despite all of one's efforts and all of one's sacrifices, it is quite impossible for me to make the accommodations on board a ship such as women ought to have. I hate to hear of women on board or even see them on board. And no ship under my command shall ever convey a family of ladies anywhere if I can help it. Did we just hustle, play the whole game through to get this guy, and he's actually a misogynistic loser? Is that the situation over here? We should have just stuck to Darcy. What am I doing? Why do I go off script like this? Trying to date Bingley, trying to date Captain Wentworth. Did you not bring my own daughter, her cousin, and 3 children round from Portsmouth to Plymouth? Oh. Does he know Charlotte? I want to ask him if he was on the Laconia, because this is a stupid question. But I'm going to choose the stupid question first, because I feel like that's going to lead to us losing Captain Wentworth, and I want to know what happens if we lose him, because there's no one else. That's it. That's the end of the game. Do we end up alone? By choice or not? Let's see. Did you really have women on board? It has been pleasant meeting with you, Miss Lydiad, and to see you again, Miss Mediocre. He let the cat out of the bag. Yes, Lady Lucas, we are acquainted with one another. Though it has been some time. You'll excuse me. Oh. We're still in love with him. Among the rest, there was one for Colonel Brandon. He took it, looked at the direction, changed color, and immediately returned to the manor. Yeah, he got some bad news from London. He doesn't want to talk about it, but Lady Lucas is going to give us some gossip. Basically, she has it on good authority that Colonel Brandon used to love this girl called Miss Eliza, who married his brother and then died after the divorce. He came back from his army posting, and 12 months later, Eliza was dead, leaving behind a little baby girl that he has raised as his own. So he's off to London, and now we're back home. Lady Lucas has come home to tell Mother about all the gossip and to invite us to London. We're exhausted because we're so excited to go to London. So last time we went to London, we actually were on a mission to meet Bingley. This time, I have no idea what to expect. Let's check on Captain Wentworth. Does he like us? I wondered at meeting Frederick again after all this time. Might the constancy of my affections, the kindness of my heart, and the unwavering strength of my actions bring our souls together once again? Yo, I'm a big fan of, exes reconnecting. I think sometimes the timing's off. So, let's see if we can get Captain Wentworth. Chapter 12. We need a lot of rest. We are exhausted. And I don't think we need much else. I guess we could go visiting and get kinder. It's the weekend. Off to London. Everyone's excited. Here we are. Idleness and loneliness, for we kept no company. Though I walked the streets daily, I felt no connection to the crowds I saw. I passed by their faces and expressions as though they were shadows of the lives that might have been mine. It was as though my life had somehow become detached from the lives of everyone I knew. I was alone, disconnected from all those I'd once known. Still, I could allow myself to surrender to the emptiness that I felt. I determined to continue on, taking what life had to offer and making the most of it. But I couldn't help but feeling that perhaps things might have turned out differently, that perhaps the choices I'd made had not taken me where I'd wished, that perhaps my life might have had a different ending. Congratulations, we have unlocked ending 2, Miss Bennet. So this is a non-empowered single female ending, right? We're Miss Bennet, but not by choice, by lack of choice. The good news is that we actually end up being an author. I wrote my thoughts into stories that became books. Over time, my stories carried the reality and the possibilities of life across generations. If we screwed things up with Captain Wentworth, this is the ending that we'd get.